Hello and welcome to the Timberland Investor. Sometimes if you're doing any sort of forestry work, or maybe if you're just curious about trees on your property or in a local park, you might want to measure the height of a tree. There are many ways to do it. You can use complex trigonometry, you can get expensive equipment that can measure the height for you with laser and sonar and all this other fancy stuff. But my favorite way to do it, and probably the most accurate, involves nothing but a stick, and maybe a 100-foot tape. Let's get into it. So in the interest of not wasting your time, I'll tell you exactly how you can do it, why it works, and then I'll demonstrate it for you. So to begin, let's start off with how exactly you do it. First, you're going to want to find a stick. Any stick will do, and you don't even need a special length. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hold it at eye level, almost like you're poking yourself in the eye, but obviously don't do that. You're going to hold it arm's length out, making sure that it's relatively level with your eye. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip it up at a 90-degree angle, look at your target tree, line up the top, I'll back up a little bit here, line up the top of the stick with your target tree, making sure to hold it level with your eyes, and then once the top of the stick is visually aligned with the top of the tree, the distance you are from the base of the tree you're looking at is the height of the tree. It's that simple. Now let's get into why it works. Alright, now to explain this, I have a little whiteboard here. We're going to take a little trip back to high school geometry, if you can remember that far. Okay, so first off, we have the representation, a very bad representation, but bear with me, of what we're doing. We're holding up a stick at eye level, and the length of the stick is equal to the length of your hand from your eyes. What that's doing is it's providing control, so you assure that these two sides of a triangle are the same. They're equal in length. And if you recall, the internal angles of a triangle must always equal 180 degrees. So we know that this angle is 90, and if these two sides are identical, then each angle must be 45 degrees. Now what we do is when we're sighting that into the larger tree, is we're essentially just controlling that angle. We're controlling that 45-degree angle, really just one, that's your eye to the top of the stick, to the top of the tree, and by controlling that angle 45 degrees, we're also controlling this angle up here, which is the bowl of the tree down to your eyes. So we still have 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 45 degrees, which means that from here to here, your distance from the tree, and then also the hypotenuse, are going to, sorry, the opposite side, the height of the tree are going to be the same. These two sides are going to be the same in length because the angles are the same, right? So it's really that simple. Another thing to keep in mind too is you're actually sighting in from eye distance, so whatever you get for that answer, you might want to add on whatever the eye height is. So for me, I'm 6 feet, so probably, 5 feet, 5.5 feet will probably work. So if I were standing 20 feet from the tree, I might tack in 5 feet, 25 feet to get a total tree height. So let me demonstrate that for you. Alright, now unfortunately every tree in this stand is pretty tall, so for the interest of a good camera shot and not having to move too far, I'm going to choose a smaller tree, which is this one right here, small sugar maple I believe, and I'm going to demonstrate how this works. Alright, so like I said, you have your stick, you are holding it arm's length out, you're holding it to your eye, fully extended, and then you're flipping it up. And you're matching the top of the stick, let's see if I can get this here, the top of the stick visually with your eye. So actually I got that pretty good on camera. It's hard to tell the difference between the treetops on camera, but that's the top of it right there for me. So I'm looking down, 90 degrees, and then up, right? So what I know is that the distance I'm standing is going to be, the distance I'm standing from the tree is going to be the height of the tree also, plus my eye height. Alright, so the next part is I have to measure where I'm standing right now to the tree. And there are two ways of doing this. The preferred method is pacing. Pacing is if you know the distance of each step you take, or rather 2 steps, then you can just walk it out, and that will give you a rough estimate of you know, how far you are from that tree. For me, my pace is about 5.3 feet, so every 2 steps I take is 5.3 feet. I can use that to determine how far something is from me pretty easily. The other option, of course, is you have your 100-foot tape, and you can measure it out manually. And that would be a bit more accurate, but sometimes you have to ask yourself how accurate you need to be in this sort of a situation. So I'm going to pace it out, and then I'll figure out how tall it is. Okay, so start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just about 8. Alright, so I got 8 paces. My paces are about 5.3 feet. So that means the tree plus my eye height, it's about 45 feet tall. Which I'd say, yeah, that checks out. That's probably a 45-foot high tree. So that's really all there is to it. It's that simple. Of course, like I said, there are other ways of doing it. You can use a clinometer and get a precise angle and then do some trigonometry. They also sell devices that I can't really remember if it's laser or sonar. I think it's sonar. But they cost about $1,000, so they're pretty pricey, and you can stick it's a sonar puck to the side of a tree and then shoot a laser. Maybe it's a mix of both, I don't know. Either way, you can shoot a line up to the top of the tree and to the puck on the tree, and it will give you a height. Those, honestly, well, they're expensive. They're still somewhat labor intensive. They're definitely faster than this method, but I think more importantly, they're really not all that accurate. When I was cruising with one of them, we would maybe do 3 takes with it, and it was honestly plus or minus 10 feet, maybe on a good day 7 feet, but they're really not that accurate. This, because it is based on solid trigonometry, even though it's kind of pre-calculated for you, the method with a stick is going to be more accurate and probably easier, to be honest with you. So it's my preferred method of measuring the height of a tree, and it's accessible to anyone. You don't need any special equipment except for maybe the 100-foot tape to measure it out manually. But yeah, I'd recommend pacing it out. And I don't have it up yet, but I'm hoping to do a video on pacing and how to determine your own pace pretty soon. So it might be worth taking a look in the video description and seeing if I have that up yet. So yeah, anyway, that's how you measure the height of a tree. So happy measuring. Until next time.